All right, I hope everyone's been well. We seem to have normalized after the hurricane. Told you guys it was going to take a little bit of time, but here we are and back in the saddle again. So without further ado, let's kind of dig right into the numbers for the month. As always, let's make our first stop here, the number of active listings. 1,431 right now. This time last year, 1,491. So we're down 4% from last year, and for those of you that have watched for a while or read my blog for a while, you know I feel that that's way too many listings that we still have. Another couple of notes. If we scroll down to new listings, there was 309 this time last year, 327 right now. That's the blue line there. So almost a 6% increase in new listings. The bright side, pending listings up a little bit, 172, the red line there. And of course, the most important thing on this slide, the number of closed sales. This time last year, 141. This last month here, 137. So we're down about 3% on the closed sale figures, which is the number that we really want to see going up. Better for buyers, better for sellers, better for everyone if this market really starts moving. Again, it's flat from this time last year. I think when we're talking December of 2018, I'll be surprised if we're not flat again. I don't think the market's got any great latitude this year to pick up heavily, but we'll save the predictions till the end of this. All right, if we scroll over to, again, a slide that I've warned everybody, be a little bit careful with this. We don't have a huge sampling size. Nevertheless, I like to look at it to keep track of the average price per square foot. So it looks like we're down about 12% from this time last year, 426 down to 373. Again, don't put a whole lot of stock in this. Just take note of it. Nothing that's going to greatly sway any purchasing or selling decisions. And as always, it really depends. You can't compare the price per square foot of waterfront, which is where a lot of the properties reside in the zip codes that we cover. More specifically, a single family home, say on Las Olas Isles, and compare it to a condo in downtown that's not on the water. Two totally different price points. So again, take it with a grain of salt. If you're looking at a specific price point or a specific property, as always, call or email me, and we'll get into what the real price per square foot should be for you. Let's go ahead and move on here. Now, again, if you've watched or read this blog for a while, you know that this slide was something I got frustrated with for a long time, because in 2016, this was just the same slide month after month after month, and nothing ever changed. And now all of a sudden, we've got something to absolutely talk about, which is a year ago this time, homes were on the market for 98 days on average, sold for 91% of list price. Right now, they're on the market for 131 days, selling for 91% of list price. Again, these are aggregates. On the lower end, you're going to see very little movement off of listing price to sale price unless somebody really didn't know what they were doing. On the high end, there's much more room for negotiation, so that's where you're going to get into that 10% discount. It's completely likely up there, not likely on the lower end. But what I really want to focus on is the fact that those days on market are shooting up. I mean, 131 is the highest that we've had anywhere on the slide if you look over the last year. I was warning you guys about halfway through the year things are going to take longer to close. My opinion on the matter is that's happening because there's a lot of poorly priced properties on the market. There's a lot of overpriced stuff. If you price it too high, you're going to sit on the market for way too long. If you price it well, things are still moving. 30, 45 days is about where I think you should see your sales timing. And again, remember, that's only your days on market. That doesn't include your time while you're under contract, time to close, everything like that. So just know, again, a lot of people, you're still looking at 6 months from the day you put it on the market to the day you're going to close on the property. Just something important to know. Scroll over to the medium price. Again, don't put a ton of stock in this. We have a lot of divergence from $200,000 condos in the zip codes that I work up to $20 million homes. So you can look at it, but don't look at it too close. The median home sale price last year was $435,000. Now $398,000. So down about 8.5%. Again, don't put a whole lot of stock in it. Just take note of it. Let's get to my favorite one. Months of inventory. Most telling sign, as well as how many homes are actually closing. It'll really tell you where the market is right now. And at this point, I almost feel like we should start saying, you know, look, the world sees 6 months supply as being favoring neither buyers nor sellers. At this point, I feel like we're never going to see 6 months. Not with all the listings that we have out there, and not with sales velocity being, you know, around 120 sales, which isn't enough. And to further that point, I wanted to not only look at where we were last year, 10.6 months to now, 10.4 months. Let's just call it flat. Inventory is not really going away. But what I do want to talk about real quick is if you look down in the middle of the year, where you see the 6.6, I think it's important to know, geez, what would we really need to be doing in terms of sales volume to get down to the market where we should be, where we're seeing about 6 months and it's not favoring buyers or sellers as much? Because right now buyers are really being favored on everywhere except for on the lower end. And if you look back, in that 6 month of the year, there were 217 sales. Again, compared to the 137 that we have, which results in the 10.4 months. So more sales are going to push months of inventory down. To get to that 6.6 number, we'd have to get back 217 sales, 220 sales. This is a 60% increase over where we are right now, just to put it in full perspective for you. My opinion is, in order for us to get back to a truly balanced market where sales are really going to have to shoot up in 2018, I don't see any catalyst for it happening, to be honest with you. So I'm not putting a whole lot of stock in that. What I do think is going to happen this year is that we're going to see the return of a first-time home buyer. And I say that for a couple of reasons. First of all, condos, buyers, if you haven't really, the last time that you checked, if the lender wanted 25% down to buy a condo, that's come way down. A lot of them are looking at 10%. I even saw one loan for 5%. So these are really, the down payments have really decreased. If you're renting in downtown right now, if you're listening to this and you're in Ombre, Edge, Manor, Soleil, AMLI, get out of there. You can, right now, you can buy for less money than you're paying to rent in those places. It's insanity. There's no reason to be doing it. So please, if you're a buyer and you're living in Flagler, let's move you into a condo. It just doesn't make sense for you to be paying rent there at those rates. Sellers, a lot of you guys that I talked to for the holidays here, everybody's kind of saying, hey, get ready, I'm going to list my property in 2018 because tired of being a landlord, made good profits from the downturn in the market, time to take some money off the table. I think we're going to see a lot of that this year. I think you're going to see a lot of the lower dollar inventory churning over. I think you're going to see a lot more first-time home buyers than we saw in 2016 or 2017, and hopefully they'll really carry the market this year. That being said, I think the result is going to be the lower priced properties are going to get pushed up. The higher end, I'm really trying to avoid right now. You know, those of you that have tried to list with me on the high end know if we don't have to list it right now, I really don't want to. It's a tough market to be in. But those middle of the road properties or lower priced properties, they're moving. Lower priced properties this year, that's where to be at. If you're an investor, I would look in those lower priced areas that haven't, you know, been overlooked for the most part, for lack of a better term. And I would probably put some money to work there. If you want to take some money off the table somewhere else, I think that's where you put it, because I think 2019, you're going to see those prices get pushed way up. Last thing for you, I had somebody ask me, what's the average sold price? I get this question every once in a while because I use the median price and people want to know what's the actual average price. The average sale price in the zip codes that I cover last month, $678,000. That's off of $831,000 November of 2016. So if you got any questions, let me know. If you're looking to buy, you're looking to sell, take a couple of days, catch your breath, and January's right around the corner. So let's get going. I hope everybody has a great holiday, and we'll talk after the new year. Be safe.